Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Well, yeah, you can. A lot of people.
Hello.
How is it going? How are you?
Good.
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 Well, I was a little late. Just pushed the changes to the documentation. So I will share them with you. Do you know if more people is going to join, or should we start? Nope. So class. Give me a second, I will send you the link because it's taking a little to deploy. Ah, okay. Short. Go ahead. Okay. Can I share with you in the chat this? Code Club. So this is the first link I'm going to share with you about the Code Club. This is where I will be putting all the scripts and coding that we will see. I keep improving this every year, and you will see other faces in here as well. It won't be only me. But here it will be the main repository where we would put everything, okay? So if you want to go ahead and start cloning this repository, as you already know how to do because of the Git class, you can do so, and then you can pull all the changes that we keep putting in there or the improvements that we do. Here, every year we have a different branch, so we will use the 2020 branch for now. You can also go to previous years in 2019, and that's it because we haven't done this many other years. And of course, you can contribute and add things to this repository. I'm gonna share my screen. This is gonna be easier. Let's talk to here. You see my screen? Yeah. So here at the very end, you see that there's a small Hall of Fame from previous year's students that I put nice things that you guys do after the classes. So there's people playing with Pygame, people doing COVID-19 map, in which you could see people tweeting all over the world about COVID-19. I think this guy has it here. So this is a map that we did something similar in class, but about different tweets that happen all over the world about COVID. And many other things like another game, some other things with open frameworks, etc., etc. So you could also end up being here, share the things with us once you do your little scripts and things like this, and then you will be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, doesn't have to be like super complex or anything. So I think that the pages are deployed. So,
Pero sé quién es Oscar.
Sí, esto de Kobe. El santo de este también.
Local.
Este Hans.
Okay, so you still see my screen, right? So you already did the Make Lab with Edu last week. I just want to clarify a little bit what we're gonna do in the coding sessions. The idea is that other years we've been doing a little bit of Python in general, but we will do that as well, but not only Python. This year we're gonna do a little bit more like a crash course in how computers work, how we could create scripts and demystify how everything, how we see computers and how can we make use of computers in ways that are not defined by the applications or programs that you download from the internet. So the first thing that I want to start doing with you is to lose the fear of thinking that your computer is just a set of tools that are predefined, that you cannot improve or make your own, and that we can little by little make our own things to make our life easier and to make our computer work for us. Okay, we will do quite a few things, not only scripting or Python. We will also talk about creative coding like processing or open frameworks. We will talk about how to open a camera from your computer and do machine learning. We will talk about OpenCV and computer vision or more advanced things. And here soon there will be a little bit like a better plan. Right now is very short, but the idea is that in the next days, when we have everything a little bit clearer with COVID times, we are able to give you a little bit more of an idea of the different sessions of what we're going to do in each session so that you can come and go. It's not only going to be with your computers as well. We will use Raspberry Pis and learn how to set up a Raspberry Pi or this type and other things. So don't be afraid if you get stuck in one session. The sessions are not all mandatory. What we see today is not necessary or strictly necessary for the next session. Plus all the content is recorded, plus all the content is in the documentation. So don't worry if you cannot come one day or you miss something for whatever other reason. Okay. Just final word also is that this is not mandatory. There's a lot of people here and I really like that, but just remember that what we try to do here is have some fun and learn some other stuff, but we don't require anything from you. So these are sessions for you. This is nothing else, okay? So to get started, I'm gonna share with you today's documentation. Here, so I call this session, I don't know if it's even proper English or not, doesn't matter, but it's like scripting away your fears, which is like, it's the idea of just making or getting to understand your computer in a way that you haven't understood it before, that with the programming sessions that we're gonna do is gonna extend the capabilities or your productivity or whatever, or your resources and your skill set that you have while you do your things in your computer. So my goal for these sessions for today, but for the sessions in general, is that we stop thinking that you need to download a program or application from the internet in order for your computer to do something. Okay, that's the main goal. It's not Apple or Windows or whomever is doing software. Is actually your computer is yours and you can make your own things to work. So I'm gonna dive in directly into doing some stuff because I want to really have a lot of time for hands-on. So the structure is gonna be that I'm gonna give you maybe 10, 20 minutes of some theory, and then we will go directly into cloning your repos and doing some activities with some little scripts, okay? So first thing is, what are you still following? Are you happy with this idea? Yeah, okay. So the first thing is that I want you to understand is that anything in your computer, anything that runs an application, a program, or a script lives somewhere. And that is simply a file that you can execute and that contains certain instructions that make your computer do something. It can be very complex or it can be very simple. It's the same way as what we saw during the pre-course that we were talking when we were doing Arduino code. It's exactly the same thing, but in a more complex manner and with a lot of scripts. So these programs live somewhere. And the first thing to understand is that when you install something in your computer, you are doing, the only thing that you're doing is that you are just copying a file somewhere in your computer. And you are telling your computer how to execute it. That's it. There's nothing mystic, nothing going on. Like sometimes we think that there's like a huge wizard that has to help us making a huge complex process in Windows or Mac OS or whatever. No, it's just we take a file from somewhere, we put it in a folder in our computer, and then we execute it. Okay. So basically, there are two things to remember. What is the script? What is the file? And who runs it? And of course, who runs it is very important, because based on who runs the script, or based on what the type of script is, you will define who runs it. If I write a Python script, then I will run the script with Python. If I run a C++ script or a JavaScript or an HTML plus CSS plus Java, there needs to be someone that runs it and understands the language. It's the same way that we humans understand human languages like Chinese, Japanese, etc. It's the same thing. So we need to know what and where is the script and who runs it. And these two main things is just remember that everything is a file, and that you need to know who runs it. So let me put this in here. If this works. Okay, now you see my beautiful terminal. Okay, so do you see my terminal? I guess very big, right? A little weird. So the way that I like to interact with the scripts in general is via the terminal. The terminal, as you already know, it's a direct interface to the scripts that you have in your computer. And here we can know, for example, where these things live. For example, imagine that we want to know where is Git. So I can just type where Git, and it tells me that Git is living in a folder called like this. So I can go to here, and I see that there's a lot of stuff here, but there's a file called Git. And this is where my program lives. And I could make something in a small script by myself, let's say Oscar's version of Git, and put it in here, and then execute it, and it will be available to me the same way that is available to you when you execute Git. This happens with absolutely everything. And that's the way that all the modern, let's say, operating OSs are set up. Just remember that somewhere in your computer, there's a file that executes what you want to do. So maybe let's see what Git is. In this case, there's not much we can see because it's a binary file. But if we understood machine code, we could see what is inside. But there's probably some other script that I have done in the past. Let's see this. Code. Okay. So do you know, have you heard about YouTube Download? There has been a scandal this weekend about the government of the United States and the Recording Manufacturers Association, something like that, taking down from GitHub a script called YouTube Download. This is used by many people. YouTube Yeah. No. So this is a script that is not the original one, but basically downloads videos from YouTube, and it has been taken down from GitHub because of they accuse it of copyright infringement. Of course, I have it in my computer to download things, and I have it in here. So you see, this is YouTube download. This is the script, and I can see what YouTube download does. So if I do, this is the text. So this is the file that YouTube download uses. And when I ask YouTube download to do something, this is the script that gets executed. Okay. So what we will do is do this, but with simpler scripts from now, and learn how to make it available for ourselves, either to download YouTube videos or SoundCloud things or images, or make whatever we want. Okay. So for that, I need to give you some basic content before we get started. I'm gonna close YouTube download so that there's not they don't sue me. Okay, are you still there, holding up? Okay. So you already know how to execute something, right? Whenever you wanted to execute Git, you open the terminal and said Git commit, Git something, right? So you just open in the terminal and say the name. You just type the name of the script or the executable and make it work. But imagine that you have a file that you want to execute and say, for example, hello. You could also say, let me just go to 1 second. WT copy. So where am I? 1 second. Code Club, Python basics. Okay. So imagine that I have this script that basically says hello to me. Okay. The only thing that it does is just print hello. I can execute this script by telling Python execute it, and I will just say hello. Or I can execute it knowing that this file is going to be executed by Python 3 by default. And we'll get to this later, but we can use the syntax and saying, hey, I want you to run with what I know that you are going to use, which is Python, and run again. So you see that I am running a script already in 2 different ways. And that's basically what I'm explaining in here. Okay, you can execute a script either by telling who should run the script. Remember this image here, the script and who runs it, or making an executable file the same way that you execute Photoshop, or the same way that you execute Zoom or Firefox or Google Chrome or whatever. Okay. I'm going very fast. Just stick with me. The idea is that you need to remember basically this thing. If I want to execute something, either Java, either C++, either Python, I need to tell my terminal or whomever is going to execute something, who is doing it and what file do we have to execute. Okay, and that will work. If I modify this and I say hello, my friend, and I do it again, it changes, and now the script changes and does something else. So this is our goal for today, is to be able to run these scripts and be able to modify them as well. Okay. You see that I am opening this file. It's the same way as you open with Atom your website with a text editor. The only thing that my text editor is in the terminal, but I can open the same file with here. And if it lets me click on it, I don't know why. What's going on? What's happening? Okay. Hello, my horrible friend. I save it, and then I can execute it again. Hello, my horrible friend. So you see that anytime that I make a change in my script, I can rerun it and make it work. So as we talked about here, we need to know what are we going to work with. Either if it's Python, either if it's Java, either if it's C++, etc. In these days, for today, what we're going to work is with Python. But as you already know, there are plenty of other languages. You already saw this in the pre-course. I'm not going to dive into this again, but just for us to be in the same understanding, let's say, there's, well, I don't know if this is accurate anymore, but around 3,200 computer languages that have been learning from one another in the last 50, 60 years. And now we can choose from a very wide variety of them. We are going to touch a lot of different languages in the Code Club. It's not going to be only C++ or Python, but also processing, which is Java, or Open Frameworks, which is C++, and Arduino adapted C. And as I was saying, what we're going to try to focus on today is on Python. We already know a little bit about C++ from our experience in the pre-course, so we're going to talk a little bit about Python. So Python was designed by this guy. I don't know, handsome or not, but he was a Monty Python fan, and that's why it was called Python. It's not like he likes Pythons or anything. It was because of he really liked the TV show. And as you see here, there's like millions of applications or things that you can use Python for web development, for graphical user interfaces, for scientific, to develop software, and many things. The thing is that Python is a very readable and maintainable code. It's very easy to understand in general. If you read this, it's very simple to say age equals 16, if age larger than 8, print otherwise, or else print whatever. Very timely for the US election, this now. Well, Python is also very compatible with, but you can use Python everywhere, in Mac OS, on Linux, of course, and on Windows. And it's one of the most popular languages. So it's a good place to start to learn some coding as well, alongside with Arduino, which is what we give you, and many other things that we don't need to dive in right now. So let's go and start installing it. So please, there's a link here. Follow that guide, and let me know if you have any problems. If you have already, I remember that many of you are Brew, Mac OS users, so you already know this command, brew, because you used it to install Git. And actually, if you want, before following that guide, you can just check if you have Python installed by the 2 commands that I gave you. So either you can type where Python, and if you receive an answer to that, there's probably no need to do anything. And if you type Python, that's that version, and if it gives you an output, it means that Python is alive. So these 2 commands, if you get an output like mine, then you are good to go. You will see that here I get Python 2.7. There's like quite a lot of dispute about this because there's a Python version. Python is not 2.7 anymore. The latest is 3.9, if I remember well. And people have stacked to 2.7 for a long time, and Python was being developed. So there's also many people that use Python 3 as a shortcut for the version 3 of Python, as you see here, because there has been like quite a bit of delays into people moving on to different versions and stuff like that. But for today, if you type Python, that's that version, or Python 3, that's that version, and you get something on the command prompt, you are good to go. If not, we follow this guide, which is the official way to install Python. Okay. And you have installation guides. If you have to choose between choose to install Python 3. Don't install Python 2 any longer because it's gonna be unsupported very soon. Okay. Any questions? Also, please, if you, for this part, it's just installation. But after that, what I would like to encourage is that you guys work with one another when you have problems. So if you want to do breakout rooms and talk to one another, or go to another Google Meet and have this in the background, or leave this one and then come back, feel more than welcome. Don't worry, since everything is remote, I don't want the remotely setup to be preventing you from talking to your partner or just having to talk to me. So if you want to leave this session and go to a Google Meet or another breakout room or something else, I'm not gonna feel offended at all. And in the meantime, I'm here to give you a hand for those that need anything. Okay.
Thanks.
So I'm gonna mute myself and let you talk.
Oscar, do you think it's normal if my terminal doesn't recognize the command where?
Yes, it could be that Unix or Windows users or newer versions, you have to type where is for that.
I'm a Mac user. Is it the same?
In principle, I'm using Mac as well, and it should work if you type where. If not, there's another option, which is which Python, and it gives you. It will give you one of them. Yeah.
The where is worked.
Where is worked. Okay.
Yeah.
So either where or where is. Okay.
And if I have both versions of installed, the 2 and 3, should I delete the 2 or just leave it like that?
Leave it like that because it might be used for your or another application, and we don't know to crash it. We will use Python 3 in general. So whenever you type Python in your terminal, just put Python 3 like that, and it will execute Python 3.
Oscar, I just did what you said, and I sent the image of the message I got in the chat, but I don't really understand if I got it installed or not.
Let me see the chat. Where is the chat? Okay. Okay. By the way, if you see Santi, I didn't know Santi was around. So you have in the chat as well the club. Sorry, the 4 breakout rooms that already Santi prepared for this. If you want to join together and talk among yourselves in a, say, closer environment. Okay. And for the image, okay, let's see this one. Okay, so the first one means that you have Python installed, which is good. But the second one means that you don't have permissions to that folder. Let me see. Python 3 in Windows. I think if you can, Sergio, it would be better to try and follow the instructions in here because you have it installed, but probably that version is the one that Microsoft uses for internal stuff. But it would be good to have someone in which you have, let's say, rights to modify anything you want. So if you follow the instructions in the guide, then I think it would be much easier.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Oscar.
Oh, and the link to download. Okay. Sorry if I don't check the chat that often. Just tell me in the, just unmute yourself and say if I'm missing something. Okay. So who of you guys you already have it? Yeah. Anyone?
I do already have it.
Yes, I have it too.
Did you already clone your repos for the Code Club repo as well?
No, not yet.
No, which one? There's a few. Which one should we do it?
So if you go to here, just go to 2020 and clone. Okay.
Oh, the entire thing. Okay.
Yeah, the entire thing. Just clone it, and that way, if I update it, and there's another sessions, because this is mostly a carryover from last year, and then you can have the whole thing. Also, if you want to go further and not stay in the basics from today, but you want to really dig into it, you have all the sessions that we did last year, and we will build onto this little by little. We will put an updated schedule. So for today, we will talk about this 0.1 Python basics. Okay. Please, guys, let me know once you are all done.
I can't download Python. I don't know how to do it, actually. I tried, but I don't know.
Okay. Do you want to, what platform are you using? Is it Mac OS or Windows?
Mac.
Mac, okay. Can you share your screen maybe? Oh, I have to stop share, I think.
Quick question: when we clone the repository, should we mirror it or just clone?
What do you mean by mirror?
There's
Is
this
it
option.
like
There's this option to mirror repository which automatically updates these projects, branches, and text from the upstream repository every hour.
No, just clone.
No, just clone it. Yeah.
Okay.
That way you just pull it. I'm gonna do. Do you guys know how to kind of make a poll? Santi, you're an expert in Zoom.
Yeah, but I don't have like administration rights right now. Can you give me the?
How do I give presentation rights?
You should make me admin. Oh, but it's. Wait, let me a second.
I'm not admin either.
Yeah, okay. Don't worry. I will connect with okay, you can continue. I will figure out that one.
Okay, so here, okay. Okay, so you can type the same command, but before typing it, just type sudo, S-U-D-O. And then paste the same space and then paste the same. Without the, Control A. Yep. Okay. Okay. You see, in the previous error message, it says you should change the ownership of these directories to your user. Can you copy the exactly? It's gonna ask for your password. Okay, and then you can retry without the sudo again. So brew install Python only. And looks good now.
For the cloning, mine says it doesn't allow me to do it. I don't have the permissions, like the access rights.
Oh, that's probably because you're cloning with SSH. If you want, you can clone with HTTPS.
Okay.
You should have also, in principle, access to GitLab. If you put your SSH key, you should have access already.
Okay, now it worked. Yeah.
Okay.
When you clone the repo, are you able to get the files? I seem to just have the README and license.
Sorry?
I'm trying to clone your different repos in the GitHub, and I don't seem to get the file. It just gives me the README and the license.
Okay. Yes. That is because you are in the master branch. You this I didn't tell you, but if you are this is the repository of the Code Club. So you see that in my terminal, I see now all the files, and because I'm in the master sorry, in the.
Sir, I think you're not sharing the screen.
Oh, you are absolutely right. Thank you. You see it now?
Yep.
Okay. So you see that if I list everything, I have it, and that I have 2020 here. Git can work with branches, which are a way to like a split development of the code, and you can check a branch out by saying git checkout and the name of the branch. So for example, I'm still in the 2020, so I do git checkout master, and now I'm in the master, and I only will see folders but nothing in them. 02. There's nothing in them, and I can do git checkout 2020, and then I am back into 2020. Okay. So basically, git checkout 2020, and you should see it.
Thanks.
And Santi just made a little poll so that you can tell us if you already have the Python installed or not.
So to get the Python installed, can I just ask? I know it's a stupid basic question, but so I cloned the repository online in my GitHub, but how do I get the folder to my computer?
So the idea is that in principle, you should do git clone in any folder that you want. So for instance, let me go back. So if I go to my desktop and I do git clone and the name of the repo, it will download it and put it in the folder with the name of the repository. So it will be CodeClub. What you did probably is a fork. So it's that you copied it to the GitLab, your own GitLab. And now you have it. So I can go to here and I can see, no. CodeClub. I don't know exactly what you did. Because there's no fork. But if you see git clone and I do this and then cd to CodeClub, and now I'm in the same repository, which is, for example, with what Clement was seeing. So if I want git checkout 2020, and I see the whole thing now. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. How can we see the amazing results of this poll? Is it visible or is it just for Santi?
Wait.
Oscar, I can't tell. I think I downloaded it, but when I do this in the terminal, do I have Python 3 installed? It just says invalid syntax. What is it?
Okay. Can you share your screen and maybe we can see it in detail?
Okay. Yes. But you are sharing, I guess. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. This is new dynamics of Zoom.
Okay. So. This is, can you see it or it's too?
Okay, yeah. So you have it installed. Okay, so what's going on now is that, can you type Control D? Control, not command. Sorry. There you go. Okay. So So you see now you are in the normal terminal prompt, right?
Yes.
You are in the Jasmine user in the home folder. If you type Python 3 and press enter, you see that now it changed.
Yes.
Now we are in what we call the interactive prompt for Python. This is a way to talk with Python, and whatever you write in here, it will do. It's a little bit tricky, but it's the same as what you do in the terminal normally, but it's a fast way to try things. For example, if you do print, open, close, parentheses, and put something in there like hello with quotes, then it will print something and execute your code.
Okay,
It's,
so to use Python, we need to always be in the terminal and first start with Python 3.
No. This is a way to do it, but we will do what we will make is a Python file, like a script, and then we will execute it by calling Python and running whatever that script is.
Okay, so now I just have to push this to the repository. It's fine.
So just Control D right now. And did you already clone the repo? So you already have it downloaded? Okay. So now is that what you should do? Just go to a folder that you where you put your stuff like coding or MDES stuff.
Okay.
With the terminal you can navigate like CD or something like that.
Okay.
To document and then git clone this one.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. To clone the repo, exactly.
Oscar, can you see the pool results or not? I make you admin now. Well, anyway, we are 95%.
Okay, I see it. And can people change the results?
I don't think so.
Because
yeah, because it's not actualizing, no? I don't know.
Okay, so
or maybe yes, I'm not sure.
You see my screen, right? Who are the ones that voted I am in the process? Is the process done? Jasmine, yeah. Anyone else?
Yeah, Oscar, I have the same issue with syntax error, but unfortunately I haven't seen what Jasmine did before.
Okay, so can you check? Can you share your screen very quickly?
Yeah.
And we see it. Okay, control. Yeah, so this is the thing. So when you typed Python, you went into what we call the Python interactive prompt. So right now what you're doing is you're talking directly to Python. You're not in your terminal anymore. You are like in Inception, Python inside the terminal right now. So if you press Control D, yeah, Control CTRL. Sorry, no. You see that there's Command D, the Command key, and in the Mac is 2 keys away is Control. So if you press Control key plus D.
Or maybe they can put like exit and the two.
Yeah, or exit, open, close parentheses. with you have to open and close parentheses. Exits, open, close. No, sorry. Like you see in the chat.
It's in the chat, yeah.
In the chat, Santi just put it.
Somehow I cannot see the chat because I'm sharing this. Now it works.
Oscar, it happens in Mac that you cannot copy and paste in the terminal, or it's just in Linux or some other environments?
In Mac, in principle, you can
copy and paste without anything else. And it all the same in Windows.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you type exit, open parentheses and close parentheses in the bottom one, yeah.
The terminal.
Yeah, exit, open parentheses, close parentheses. No, but like the symbol, let's say open parentheses and close parentheses.
Where is that? I don't see it.
Do you see the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, so is.
Do you see the screen? Do you see my screen?
Yeah. Is this what you have to type?
Because, yeah, I can see this chat, but.
And you have to type it at the very end. So delete everything. Exactly. Okay. So you see that now it changed. You had like 3 arrows, let's say. That is the Python interpreter, and now you are back in your terminal. So you were like inside Python, running directly with it. But right now, Python is working. So if you type Python 3 that version altogether, Python. Okay, so it works. Okay, 3.8 version 3.8. Now you have to do the same thing. Exit, open and close parentheses, and you're back to normal terminal. Okay, so you have it as well. I don't know if you can change your poll result, but it doesn't matter. Anyone else that is having?
Yes. Issues? Hi, Oscar. How are you?
Hi.
I think I have installed it, but I don't know if I mess it up with the installation of the beta.
With the installation of what, sorry?
With the Xcode. I installed. I think I installed that, and I don't know if it's running or not. The Python.
Can you share your screen?
Yes. So when I type Python 3, it appears this.
Exactly. So it's the same thing that is happening to all of you. When I give you the command, you have, well, right now type Control C. No, but press the keys. I'm saying like, see, there's a key that is Control. I'm sorry, Control D. Sorry.
Control D.
Exactly. You see that before you had 3 arrows, and now you have the Josefina's MacBook Pro, right? So right now you're in your terminal. Before you were executing Python. So right now, don't press Enter yet. Just type Python 3 all together, space, dash version. So guion. Version. Enter. Okay. So now we just ask Python what the version it's running, and it's 3.8, and that is perfect. Okay. That's what we want.
I'll do the repo and the cloning.
Yeah. So what is happening to many of you guys? I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna share my screen again. So what's happening to you, some of you, is that you see, I type Python that does version, and this is just asking Python what version do I have. You see here that I have my normal colorful terminal prompt, right? And here I have my normal commands, I have the CD and everything. But if I type Python, now I am inside Python. So I'm running Python in the terminal, and here I don't have ls or any other thing. This is right now we're talking to Python directly, but we are not going to use Python like this. We're going to use Python in a simpler way, because this is a little bit confusing. But as we just saw, if you need to get out of here, you can just type exit, open and close parentheses. I think quit also works. So if you go and say quit or exit, or you type Control D, then it will exit and you go back to your terminal, to your normal one, okay? But don't worry, for now, we need to build some other basic understanding before we can go into how to use Python here. Let's see, how are we doing? Should we continue?
I've lost again.
Yeah, I don't really understand what's happening.
Me neither.
So what's going on? Isn't your computer the problem, or?
No, I have Python, but I don't understand. So it's an application, but we have to put in our student files and upload it to GitLab. Like,
no, for right now you don't have to upload anything to GitLab. The only thing we did is that we are going to learn how to run things in our computer, like programs or scripts and things like this. And for this, we need to know who is going to run it. And we just installed Python, which is let's say the guy that is going to run our programs and scripts. And I gave you some examples in the GitLab repository with some scripts already inside, which we will use as examples in a minute. But we don't have to upload anything to GitLab. You just download the examples and we install Python, and that's it.
Sorry.
I still don't have Python, actually. I need your help again.
Okay. If you want to share the screen, or?
Yes, but you are sharing a screen.
Oh. All yours. Okay. Okay, so if you, so what's the problem? So you have to type Python 3 altogether. And then you are now in the same thing that I was showing right now. So if you type exit, open parentheses and close, you're back. So, and Python is working for you too. It's good.
I have a question regarding Atom. So how do I tell Atom which repository to connect to? Because I think now it's kind of confused.
Okay, so as long as, so Atom is just a text editor, let's say. And if you open a project that is in a folder where there is a Git repository, it will directly know how to interact with it. If you download something like what we did right now as a Git clone, it will still be connected to the one that you downloaded from. And the only thing is that I would have to give you access rights or permissions so that you can write to the repository, but it will be connected to that one directly. If you want to change it, I'm not sure how you do that in Atom, but I'm sure that there's plenty of tutorials or Google information like that. I never used Atom myself, but probably Santi or Giuseppe are better experts.
As I understand, like when you download like a repo and you basically, so you download like the Git hidden like a folder attached to this repo. This is the ones that links to the repo. And when you add a project in Atom, it's looking for that connection. So you can add more than one like project folder, and in theory, it should be automatically detect which repo is connected. So you don't have to have any problems. Are you having problems? So what's your?
I think I messed up. I think I messed up because I cloned this repository we are talking about today. I cloned it into the
inside another repository.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can have a look at
I wanted to keep my files, neat together. So I put it into the Git folder, which is connected to my MDEF website.
Yeah.
So now I kind of was scared because Atom looks like, like everything is unstaged, and I'm like, why?
As soon as you don't try to push to your MDEF repository, it's okay for now.
Okay. I didn't push. Okay. Should I just delete it?
You can delete the folder that you just downloaded and
exactly.
the code club, and it would be okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't I need to reconnect to the other repository?
Principle. No, I think you're okay.
Yeah,
I have a question along the same lines because I cloned it successfully, so I had the Python folder created on my computer, but then I don't understand how do I connect that folder that I just cloned to my new repository I created on GitLab.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that.
Can you share your screen?
Yes.
Okay.
So
you just,
basically, I did it until here. So this is good. Then I created the new project, which I have it here, my Python course. But how do I put my new repository here?
Okay. So you see, right now, where are you in the terminal?
Right now, I'm nowhere.
You are in the home folder, and what is the code club or the thing that you want to put?
Okay, it's here.
Code club, right?
Well, here is the cloned, the code club. This is this is the one I just downloaded, right?
Okay, and you want to put that one or another one?
I want to. I guess that what we want is that this is connected to this, right?
That is already connected by default. When you come back to Fab, the one that I sent you, the code club in GitLab.
This one.
When you cloned it, it's already connected.
Yeah,
to
yours.
One in your.
But how do I have to have a repository of my own?
No, no, you don't need to. You don't need to. That's fine.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
No problem. Okay.
Oscar, how can I update? That's basically just a quick one. How can I update the Python from 2.8 to the new or the latest version?
Yeah. So if you go to the installation here, installing Python, if you go, you have a Mac root, right?
Yeah.
So to the one, oh, not that one. Well, I cannot delete it. It's fine. So here, it gives you the homebrew that you already have installed. And then you can just type this, brew install Python. Okay, and in principle, that should make it work.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, Santi, let me just do this very quickly. Let me just very quickly, just to be clear of what we're doing, I'm making this very quick and dirty diagram, but I want us to be all in the same page. Oops. Copy image. Edit.
Santi, in the poll, I said that I don't have it because I think it's just the internet problem. Like I'm trying to still download the Xcode. I don't know if Santi's there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know. I think he is, but I hear you. It's fine.
Bueno, pues Oscar. I think it's just an issue of slow bajada, slow internet, and I am following, but I just don't have Python yet because I still didn't even get Xcode.
Okay. Don't worry.
Okay.
So, do you see my screen right now?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Well, that's good. Because I was doing something very silly, but so what do we do right now? I know this might seem a little silly, but what we did is, so right now, what we have is on the internet, let's say, there's the GitLab repo that I sent you, right? From there, we downloaded some examples, some code, let's say. Right now, those are just the text files. They don't have anything. They by themselves, they are nothing. They're just text. There's nothing else interesting in there besides that they are a piece of code, okay? We also installed Python. Python, we just did it, or if you already had it, it's fine. But we have this little logo, you will get used to it. This is the Python logo, and we already have it installed in our laptop. So now these two can talk, and here we can now execute scripts from the examples or other things. Okay, we can execute as well some other script that you will do in the future. But basically, the only thing, just remember that the only thing that we are doing at the moment is installing Python, like someone that is able to execute code, and download some examples that I give you in the code club folder. And we will now do some other things as scripts. Is this idea more or less clear for everyone, or are you confused? GitLab in this instance is just a hosting service. Here we just put the files and that's it. There's nothing else. The GitLab, we don't have to go back. Do you see that this arrow is only going down? It's just downloading, but you don't have to put anything on GitLab or things like this. Okay, GitLab is just where I put the things in there, but nothing else. Is that more or less okay right now, or or do you? Please don't hesitate to ask questions if this doesn't get clear, because the idea is that we don't build on top of things that then we don't understand.
Oscar, I got it, but I don't understand what to do with the GitLab repository. Do I have to just download it, or?
For now, yes. Just download it, and in a second I'll show you what to do.
So just downloading it as a zip?
You can either do that or clone it. Up to you. So if you go here, there's if you see my screen, there's download as a zip, or you can clone it and use it the same way that as you cloned the template for the MDEV website in the terminal. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, should I continue with you guys?
Well, I did run into an issue when I was cloning the repo, that it would download like all or 50 so megabytes, but then when I go into the folder, only the license and the README is there. Okay. I was able to work around this by downloading the zip. I got all of the subfolders and everything.
Okay, so this is the same thing that I'm losing you. Okay, so this is the same thing that happened to Clement. Clement, are you there? Or no? So so right now I am in the Code Club folder in what we call the master branch. If you are in the terminal, the 2020 branch is, you can find it if you type this in the terminal. So git checkout 2020, and you will switch to that branch, and it's where all these files are. When you downloaded it, it's by default in the master branch, and you have to type this command, and you will find the 2020. Does that solve the problem? Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah, same here. Basically, it's the same situation as Jean-Luc. And then if I do git checkout master or git checkout 2020, it says fatal, not a Git repository.
Are you in the Code Club folder?
Yes. And I have the license and the README and the .git hidden in folders.
And did you clone it, or did you download it as zip?
I cloned it.
Okay, can you show me your screen?
Yes. Where's the button? Oh.
Oh, I also have to stop sharing, sorry. Okay. Cloning into Code Club. Okay, can you do CD Code Club again? Or okay. Hello? Now can you type pwd? Okay, so you see you have a Code Club folder within the Code Club folder.
Yeah.
And now if you do git checkout 2020, it should work.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So it was only because there
went too
were
deep.
two folders. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Should we keep going?
I'm good. Let me unshare.
Oscar, I just downloaded the zip and put it into my desktop for my my MDMF folder, and that's fine, right? I couldn't figure
Yeah.
out the plugin. Okay.
Yeah, for now that's good. Okay. So now we installed it. Thank you, Jean-Luc, for those instructions in there. So I'm not going to talk about Python environments or virtual environments or these type of things. This is a little bit more advanced stuff. You have all the documentation in here if you want to dig into it. For now, I think it's better that we understand and grasp how to execute these things and make them run, other than trying to dig into these complexities. But you can check all this if you want. Okay. Also, I'm not going to talk about packages yet, about how to install other things. We will do that in 1 or 2 sessions from now. What I will do is to talk a little bit about how we do things in Python when we want to control what things happen, right? So the same way as we did with Arduino, you remember that we had this algorithm for finding or regulating the temperature in a room in the pre-course. Well, the same idea, but with Python, we have different conditions and ways that we can control how our code is flowing. We have the if condition, we have the while or the for loop, and they have the syntax. It's not really necessary to go much into detail into this. I leave this thing. I leave it in here for your reference, and then you can check it. I just want to say a couple of things. That comments. If we go here, this is my script. You see, well, or is that?
Oscar, I think you're not sharing the screen.
Oh shit! Again. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go back again to this. So I was talking about in the documentation, okay, Python environments. The documentation is here. We will see this in 2 or 3 sessions. The same for packages. Here I was talking about this thing that we saw in the pre-course about doing control in the code, like for loops, if conditions, and this type of thing. You see that the syntax in Python is a little bit more relaxed, but some things change, that you don't have parentheses, you don't have these brackets, etc., etc. And you have different examples of the 3 most important structures, let's say. And in here, in my code, I just want to mention one thing, and is that comments, instead of going like / as we did in Arduino or C++, they go with hashtag, okay? And we say this is a comment.
We're only seeing your terminal, not the.
I don't see my terminal.
Things happening.
What's going on? Which terminal are you seeing? The
iTerm2.
But the one that has like a lot of warnings and things like that, or another one?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Let me change again. Share. Desktop share. Let's see if this works now. Can you see the documentation?
Yes.
Yes.
No? Okay. Okay. Third time. Python environments. All these parts, I'm going to skip it. Packages, the same. So all these things, don't worry. If you can check them if you want, if you feel confident about it. But for now, we're not going to talk about it. We will talk about it in the future. Here, what I was saying, the while and condition that we saw in Arduino, or the if condition that you can now see how it works in Python, or the for loop that we also saw. have different syntax in Python or in C++. So this is C++ is Arduino, and Python is what we're seeing right now, and they have different ways of expressing these things. Okay, but basically they do the same thing in both languages. They just change a little bit how we express this. Now, do you see my text editor?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the first script that we're going to run. Here, I was saying that in Arduino, you remember that we said that a slash slash was doing a comment, right? Now we're not going to use slash slash. We're going to use hashtag for Python because it's the way Python works. And this is a comment. Okay. You can also do it with these guys if you want to write multiple lines. Okay. So you see that all of everything that I type here in this line is a comment, and within these 3 quotes is a comment as well. Then don't worry about this part, just keep it for granted. And this is basically how we define a function in Python and how we do something like, for example, print. Let me just run this, and if we succeed in running this, then I'm gonna ask you to run it yourselves. So let's see, where is my terminal? So if you cd into your CodeClub repo in the branch 2020, and then you go to Python Basics, you should see these files in there. And as we said before, what we're gonna do is just run the first one. And to run the first script, you just do this, Python and the name of the file. And basically, as you see, I'm just asking Python to print hello, and this is what it does. It's telling me hello.
So we're not
Simple.
seeing, I think.
Oscar, yeah, I don't see. It's just a static.
We're still just seeing the screen with your Python file, not with your script,
Okay.
not with the terminal.
Then probably my internet connection is, or my Zoom is doing a little bit of okay. Let me relaunch it again. I'm gonna stop my video as well. I'm also gonna stop my video in case that improves. Do you see it now?
Yeah,
Do you see? Do you see this moving like a lot of times?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying is that I have my file on the right side. This is my text editor, but it could be Atom for you. And then I have my terminal. And then I have my terminal. If it comes back up. Oh, come on. Then I have my terminal here. That the same way that you did Python earlier, now I can say Python, I'm calling Python and I'm telling execute this script. And you see here that the only thing that I'm doing is print hello, my friends. I save it and I do this. And it basically tells me hello, my friends. So this will be our first very tiny challenge for today. Okay, so it's go to the CodeClub folder, then go into the Python Basics folder and run the file. if you are able to do this, then we are all good to start working in something a little bit more complex. Okay.
Success.
Yeah. Rest are still alive, or did I already kill you with all this?
I'm dead.
I'm dead, but I'm trying.
Do you guys feel more confident or more comfortable if we try to split a little bit? Like Santi put before some rooms. Maybe we could do that, and I can try to jump between each of them. Do you like that idea, or do you rather all stay in this one? For example, if Chris already has done it, and someone else already has done it as well, maybe we could split that way.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I put this again. So please try to go randomly to each of them, and then we will find how. I will meet you in there. Try not to all go to number 1 or number 2.
Oscar, sorry, I've never done, this is Google Meet. I've never done this. Do I just go into my Gmail? And
No, just click on just type copy the URL and go into your browser and type it.
Oh,
and
okay.
it will open the.
Got it.
Yep.
Guys, can I suggest that the ones that have a different operative system meet in another room? Like, for example, Windows users. I don't know who. I know Sergio is in Windows. I don't know who else.
Okay. So Club 040 will be Windows. And it will
Thank
be
you.
this one. The rest, I think everyone has a Mac.
Yeah, I don't know if there's
I don't think
other
there's
people.
Linux.
Yeah. So Sergio, if it's too boring for you to be stuck with me in room 4, just let me know.
No problem, no problem.
Okay, guys. Who has let's do this. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I'm gonna pause this.
The next day is to use a Discord app that is a kind of like Slack, or Slack, for this kind of communications between us, let's say, in these like clubs. Not for now, also for as a synchronous like communication after the clubs. And maybe it could be solution. We can basically all of us go out of Zoom, then go to the meets, and then talk through, let's say, this Discord platform. I don't know, we can prototype that thing. But yeah, okay, it's nice to have this feedback also.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. And well, my only suggestion would be maybe how to divide the rooms, like Inés' suggestion of doing it by operating system, or maybe by skills, like the ones who downloaded Python, okay, go to this room. The ones who haven't downloaded, go to this room, you know.
So I think, well,
yeah, I think it's a good idea.
The thing is, how we did it more or less right now, was that it was very good because in each room, at least there was 1 or 2 that knew that already were a little bit, and that happened randomly. So you could feedback one another and then go a little further and level up let's say the level in the for all your classmates. Today it was a little bit special because it's the first day, and we still don't know how to do what we're gonna do yet in terms of projects, in terms of things. We need to build what we call some foundation, and then we can make a building on top. But for now, we have to level up things, and that's what the purpose for today. In the next sessions, we will have some different purpose. It will not be to just level up the class let's say setup, but it will be more to build something during the session, for you to create something among yourselves and to work together with the excuse of coding. And that would make more sense because you will directly break out into different rooms depending on the purpose of what you want to do. And you can jump into one another and this type of thing. But today was a little bit more confusing because there was no clear differentiation, and well, it didn't go that bad. I have to say, you all were very patient and collaborative with one another. So I think that's very positive. But yeah, absolutely. And thanks in general for your patience. You can understand also that this is very challenging for us as well. And it's very nice that you are guys very patient and still here. Okay.
So,
Santi, anyone, anything else?
Yeah, any other comment?
I just wanted to know, so next week it's Maker Clubs again?
Mm-hmm.
And what about the Grow Club? Is it defined? Is it gonna happen or?
Yeah, is it gonna happen? But every, let's say, every, how do I say this? So we have like, let's say, design or make labs, code, make code, and then grow. So we have less sessions of growth.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and the idea for the growth is to explore the different materials that we used to work in the Fab Lab, not just bio materials, and then like see how we can basically use it on the Fab Lab, understand a little bit more. And this it means like woods, plastics, of course, based materials, let's say bioplastics. Actually, this week you will have like Anastasia's
yeah,
class.
material craftivism.
Yeah. So yeah, the idea is that one with the growth.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I just have one very simple question. I don't seem to find the folder where you're putting the videos of the clubs.
Because we didn't put it in any place for now. Sorry, this is why you don't have it. Yeah.
Okay, this one will be really important to upload because I only managed to download Python. So I really need to catch up.
Okay.
Please.
Don't worry. Also remember that these sessions are for you. There's no requirement. This is optional. Okay, just saying that. Like, don't feel like that much pressure if you have other things, or you can come, or you whatever. Just remember that this is fully optional.
I have a question. Is anybody from Fabry Academy here?
No.
Okay, just for you to know that in theory, these clubs is for all the learning programs that happens in the Fab Lab Barcelona. So right now you are, let's say, the biggest group, let's say, but Fabry Academy is also happening now, and we want them also to be involved in the clubs. And when Fab Academy starts, also we will invite them, and could be other people interested. And I think so this will make like a very interesting like sessions for everybody. But we will have to go step by step and build it like from bit to bit, let's say. I don't know how to say this. Okay. If there's no more questions,
Lunchtime.
see you next week.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.